Hey guys, welcome to the HKC 217 podcast. This podcast is sponsored by Moto Loco, which is obviously a big sponsor. They've been helping us out a lot. We've obviously got a lot of merch. And do you want to say a bit about them?
Yeah, so Moto Loco website where they do customise motocross gear, team wear, hats, t-shirts, hoodies, body warmers. It were a brand that kind of worked perfectly with some of Hudson's stuff, so you can. I'll show you some stuff on the.
Yeah.
I'll show you some stuff that it's got HKC 217, and you can have whatever name you want. So you could have had Hudson 217. It looks fantastic. Really good quality team wear.
Yeah.
And we've got some hoodies, t-shirts, hats. What else have we got? Cups.
Cups, yeah.
Pitboard.
Pitboard, yeah, that was really good.
Sent us a really good goodie bag of stuff. So Hudson is part of the Ambassadors Programme. So if you head over to the website, which you'll be able to see in the description, and have a little look on there. There's so much stuff. You can choose any different colour combo, every type of hoodie. Hudson went for the Hex, I think it was.
Yeah, like Hex or, whatever.
I chose a different one. But yeah, really, really cool stuff. Really, quality, customised stuff. So thanks very much for Moto Loco. And I think it's Elite Programme, is it?
Yeah.
Elite Athlete?
Elite Athlete.
Check you out. So yeah, it's part of the Elite Athlete Ambassadors Programme, which is pretty cool. So, as we roll in
to Ellough Park Race Report.
So, yeah, I always say that, so you find that quite funny. So, as we roll in. Yeah, so this is a race report for Ellough Park. We're still a little bit behind, but we are trying our best to keep up with the podcast. It's very difficult. We've been very busy. Again today, in the garage all day, messing about with bikes, cleaning bikes, oil changes, gearing set up, changing tyres ready. So yeah, we're going to roll in to Ellough Park and we're going to roll straight into the race report, which was absolutely amazing weather. If you can remember the weekend at Ellough Park.
Really nice.
We got there, it was a great day, alternating, that is the word,
yeah.
Alternating between the 110 and the 140 as it's mixed sessions on a Friday. Set some good lap times, adjusted and tweaked your setup. Unfortunately, towards the end of the day, just after you set your PB fastest ever lap on your 140, you lost the front on the inside long left, if I can remember correctly.
Yeah.
And headed and scuttled into the tyre wall. Kind of put you off a little bit with the 110, knock you back a little bit.
Yeah.
But generally it was a really good day of practicing.
Yeah.
So we rolled into qualifying on Saturday. Again, the weather was fantastic all weekend. So rolled into qualifying on Saturday, a good couple of warm-up sessions, and was confident was able to get into the 52 seconds barrier onto the sub 52 seconds of the 110.
Which was like one of the fastest. Yeah, it was the fastest out of all of them by quite a margin.
Yeah, well, it was certainly a good time. So you got into the 52s, which you did in Q1, I believe, which were a blinding time. And you went out in Q2. I don't think you improved on that time. You just got within a couple of tenths for it again, which qualified you on pole position, which, if the statistics are right, I think is your first 110 pole from the start of the racing. I think it is.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean, when you start. Obviously, there's 3 grids.
Yeah, there's 3 grids, but like when you start, like at Teesside, I started in 3rd or 2nd.
I think it was 3rd, yeah. I think you can work your way up to pole. It's not necessarily you pole on every single race at all. In fact, you've got to better yourself and still put in a good time per race, because race 2 is based on the fastest laps of race 1. Race 3 is based on the fastest laps of race 2, so it can be a totally mixed up grid. So you're actually buzzing. We finished Saturday really buzzing on a massive high. So yeah, you were really looking forward to racing on Sunday. So on the 140, you qualified in P8, Still didn't feel as comfortable as on your 110. We plan to make a few changes and change the springs. Oh yeah, we changed the
fork springs. Yeah.
So a massive shout out to Zach and Nick and Steve and Luca who helped out change them. I think we changed them Sunday morning.
Yeah.
You didn't feel 100% as confident. I think your confidence was a little bit knocked from the off.
Yeah.
On the Friday, you were doing faster lap times on the 140. So that was qualifying, and you qualified P8 on the 140. So we rolled into Sunday's racing. So 110 race 1, pole at Ellough Park is on the right, if you can remember. So you needed to get a good start, or Parker would have track position going into turn 1. Got off to a great start, led the race.
Had a 4.6 second gap by the end of the race.
4.6 second gap by the end of the race. I were doing your pit board. So kind of keeping him in the loop on where he kind of were on track. Obviously, you can look yourself, but a bit of a new thing that we kind of started to do at Ellough Park, I think. Obviously, I've signalled to you before, but this was a straight up pit board telling you where you were and your gap increasing. Means that you could settle a little bit. I don't know if it kind of worked though. You thought it was really good information that you'd not normally got on track.
Like if you don't have that information, you're constantly panicking. Like, if I slow down too much, are they going to catch me? Or
you can always look on track.
Yeah, but it always helps.
It depends on what track it is, doesn't it? Like you can sometimes look back.
On like tight
on Ellough,
corners.
can you look back on
on Ellough? Like there's a really tight corner. So you've got first corner, second corner, and then you got third corner. On the third corner,
you can look back on that one.
It's a really tight one, so you can kind of look back. If they're further enough behind you can look back. Yeah.
And you can look on Ellough Park corner as well, probably.
Which one's Ellough Park corner?
Well, I call it Ellough Park corner. The one that's got all the red paint on the floor.
The one that we took the video on.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you can look back on that one.
It's not as tight though. Yeah, the tight ones obviously make it a little bit better where you can look back on yourself.
On Ellough Park corner, as you come out of there, you're fine with bikes, so you won't really want to be looking across.
Well, there you go. And what about that one where you turn after Ellough Park corner? That's quite tight. Down onto it straight.
Down.
Or are you just looking out straight?
You're just looking down straight, but you can see him in the corner of your eye a bit.
Anyway, sorry, just a little bit of chit chat there. So yeah, pit boarded, stood on the side, got a good gap, settled down a little bit of your lap times towards the end of the race because you knew you had a decent gap. 4.6 seconds, as Hudson's just pointed out, and it finished you in first place, Daniel in second place, and Parker in third place.
And if you can remember, I think we were in qualifying, weren't it? Where Parker got a really good toe off me, didn't he?
Well, I wouldn't say toe.
No, not toe,
Mr.
but like
GP.
What? Well, he did.
Well, he did improve his time. His dad actually called to us and
said thanks.
He followed you. He did say that, and we're not just saying that. So Hudson, in qualifying too, you kind of like sat back. Did you sit back? We didn't rush to get out.
We didn't rush to get out because I already set a really, really, really good lap time.
You still got to go out though.
Yeah, you still got to go out just in case.
So in the Q2, I think you just come across Parker. It weren't like it were planned. You just come across Parker as you were trying to get in. I think I were pitboard and you're trying to say that you were getting into 51s again. So you come across Parker and then you overtook Parker, obviously cleanly, and then Parker, I wouldn't say towed on you, but as soon as you overtook Parker, Parker stuck on back of you. And I'm sure his dad come up and said,
he took, I wonder
2 seconds?
Yeah, like 2 seconds off his lap time.
So, like, Parker went from, like, 5th to, like, 2nd and whatever. No, I'm not saying it was, like, Hudson's fault, but it kind of shows you sometimes that when you've got somebody in front of you, and I always said this to Hudson, that if you've got somebody in front of you that's as fast as you, just try and stay on them and see what they're doing.
Like, you've got the blueprints all there. You
can see what they're doing, you can see where they're braking, you can maybe see the lines that you might not be doing, you might be braking way earlier than they are. You kind of got to be aware of that. But yeah, so anyway, that were quite nice. And yeah, and Parker got a P2, and that were the standings for race 1, race 2, and race 1. So Headed into race 2 again, still perfect conditions.
Mm-hmm.
Knew what you were going to do, so you were starting from pole again. Had to do the same. Got off and get a good start because pole is on the right for some crazy reason at Ellough. I don't know if you agree with me there.
It's different on starts. It depends. Like,
Are they equal?
No.
Are they staggered?
I think
What, set back?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I think they're all set back, but it's different. Like on starts, you have different tactics.
But you do want to be on the left on corner 1, don't you?
It depends if you're a good starter, you want to get in because the line into that corner is from the outside. But if you're getting inside, you wouldn't be able to get a good drive out.
Anyway, so you got a good start. Led the race. And finished first with a good gap. In fact, we hadn't put any information up there, but I do think you have like a 3-second gap on that one again.
I think it was like 4 point something seconds.
3, I think it might have been 3 and just
3
kind
or
of
4.
settled. So in first position it were Hudson, second position Daniel, and third position was Jack. So rolled into race 3, again from pole position, got a great start. Started to establish a gap immediately, and I was going to do the same as in race 1 and 2 and plan to maintain a gap towards the latter part of the race, but unfortunately it wasn't to be. On lap 3 I lost the rear on the penultimate corner, tried to save it, high-sided it over the handlebars, and the race was actually red flagged. You probably can't remember this because you really at your back, you were severely winded. I think ambulance team had to come out a little bit. So bit of a disappointing end.
Yeah.
Kind of knew what you did.
Immediately I knew what I did. I was just I could have got like, but it's just racing.
Yeah. Bit disappointing.
Yeah.
You knew that you'd kind of gone up revs a little bit. You knew what you'd done straight away. You said to me you were really disappointed.
I was just pushing to just like gain the gap, so I had a sturdy gap, and then I could have backed off. But now I know.
It kind of bit you.
Yeah, he just bit me all of a sudden.
A little bit of a lesson. I wouldn't say lesson learned there, but like
lesson learned. Yeah.
My comments on it. Obviously, I'm never bothered when he crashes, as long as he's all right. Not bothered about the bike. But if you're going to crash and you're going to learn from it, and I mean, this was Hudson's first ever high side. So my comments was, if it was a little bit of a lapse of concentration, which I don't know if it were, he just said he got on revs a little bit early.
I think it was just because I was trying to gain a gap. I was confident because from all the other races, I would have gained a gap instantly. But I was just really, really, really pushing just to get that gap, so they're not like motivated. And I've just pushed a bit too hard as I was trying to gain that gap, and it bit me.
Yeah, and all I said on it is that if you did something different, but my lesson was, especially when you had your first high side, not that I know about having a high side, but you have to be on the button 110% all the time. You need to be looking on what's happening, because like that, and like I say, it's the first time Hudson's had a bad thing. He's had low sides, he's crashed, he's lost the front. You've never had one like that before, and it happens in the blink of a fraction of a second. So 25 points down the pan, but a really good performance in race 1 and 2. Like, absolutely fantastic. We were buzzing from that. Hudson were on a bit of a downer all the way home, a little bit from that, but I just said, chin up, mate. You still got 2 fantastic wins there, so it is what it is.
Yeah.
So
we need to rewind now.
Yeah, we need to rewind now. In between all this, obviously Hudson did the 140 races, so we'll rewind back to the 140 race 1. So you started on P8 on the grid. It was a fantastic battle between Parker, Daniel, Travis, and you. Yeah. Parker got away from you both, but you, Daniel, and Travis crossed the line with a fraction of a second between you. 0.107 of a second and you cross the line in 8th.
Wow.
Which, that, if you can remember, it was just a buzzing race.
I was just absolutely buzzing.
Yeah, and I think, I would think that you're probably on your 140 then, on that one. You and Travis were probably on your 140. And I think Daniel won his 110.
Yeah. I think Daniel doesn't have a 140, I don't think.
No, so I think that were a really good race. Like you said, actually, it were a wicked race.
It were, yeah. I think I could have got 7.
Did you have a little dive on Travis on last lap?
I had a dive. I can remember. I had a dive, onto the second to last corner.
Yeah.
And I just braked super late. Coming in, I endured in, and then it dropped back down. I'm like, whoa! And then I went really wide.
I thought you were going to wipe him out. Me and Danny were having kittens at the side of the track.
But
so
it
were a fantastic race. Like me and Danny were watching that. It were mega. Well, just you three having a little buzz round. So that were 140 race 1. So the winners of 140. And another thing, we're going to recap all the races anyway at the end of that.
Yeah.
But the winner of the 140 race 1 was Thorley. Wilson came second and Tyler came third, but we're going to recap that in a little while anyway. So into 140 race 2, starting from P8 again. I was determined to get a better start this time, which I did. I got up into 5th position and finished the 140 race in a personal best 140 race P4 in class, which was amazing.
Yeah,
I was buzzing from that. That was absolutely fantastic. I would have put that you was on your 140, or if you was on your 110 in the notes. So you were definitely on your 140 there.
Yeah.
So you finished a P4, your best ever 140. Finished that. Absolutely fantastic. So in front of you was Tyler. In front of Tyler was Wilson, and in front of Wilson was Thorley. So not a bad crop of riders to be behind. Granted, they were a little bit up the road from you, and in fact,
a lot.
You were kind of sat in a little bit nowhere with them.
Yeah.
Nobody were there. You just like
nobody.
chasing them. Well, they were well in front.
Oh, like I think I just did. I start and then just get a good start.
I think you just got a good start into I think Luca come off that race.
Oh yeah, Luca came off in the first race because I can remember Luca coming. Oh no, he didn't.
It's a while ago.
Yeah,
it's a while ago. Anyway, we'll skip over that. So we'll go into race 3. We'll be able to see where Luca come in the next bit. So 140 race 3. So this obviously coincides with what happened with the 110 race 3. So in race 3 of the 140, the race 3 of the 140 race is after the 110 race, only like 2 sessions after. So he'd just come off on his 110 on his race 3, and because you'd had that crash in your 110 race, we decided to not race the 140 race 3
because I hurt my back.
Because your back were hurting. You were a little shaken up. You were a little angry.
Angry.
Well, no, not really. You said to me you wanted to race it, and I was like, no.
I wanted to race it, and then just like 1 session before I would have got ready to go out, my back started to really kick in. I was like, no.
Yeah. So, basically, obviously, come off in race 3 on the 110, and then the 140 race come up, and we decided not to race that, and packed up and headed home. But generally, a fantastic weekend. Yeah. Positive results, PB in the 140, 2 wins in the 110.
Points in the bag.
25 maybe gone by the wayside, but hey ho, that's racing. Fantastic weekend again. Showed all your new livery off.
Yeah, we did.
Obviously, all this new Moto Loco gear.
Yeah,
all
we
this
did.
Pit stuff and whatever not. So that was fantastic. I'll clip up that video there. New bike decals. Massive thanks to RW Paintworks. So that was Ellough Park, and it was a fantastic weekend. We shacked up with Steve, Luca, got the caravan set up in a really good place. Zach were there all weekend. Obviously, Nick come down, had a massive meal again.
Yeah, again.
Really good times. Amazing weather. It seems like it's months ago now, but it wasn't. But hey ho. So that was Ellough Park. So after that, we're going to roll into
the results
of Ellough Park. So we're going to skip through these. We're going to do what we did last week, which a lot of people have said they like that. So I'm going to go through the results. So this is the overall results of the races, whatever I chose to cover. So this is, and we're trying to go up in class in engine size, starting with the juniors basically. So this is a junior SM1, SM90, and MiniGP. So in third place it's Caden Herring. In second place
it's Joshua Herring.
And in first place it was Leo Soliux. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
No, we said that right, I think.
Oh, so
everyone says his second name wrong, and we've said it right.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Yeah.
So so obviously you can see the podium, and then the standings there, so you can see that Leo, and you can see who finished the races and whatever not. So unfortunately Joshua come off in race 3. Harrison had a DNF in race 1 and race 3. I think this is that one where I think he didn't have his transponder on. I'm sure it was one of them. First podium for Caden.
Yeah.
As well, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
First wins for Joshua.
Yeah, first win. No, not Leo.
No, first wins. Look, he just. Joshua didn't finish race 3.
In a different world.
So Joshua won his first and second race.
Yeah.
So fantastic achievement by Joshua there in a championship that we like to look at and watch. I mean, it's always good to watch these up and coming riders coming through the classes.
Yep.
So that's the 90. A shout out, I won't put flashes up on screen, but a shout out to Jack Hamilton, who races a MiniGP in that race.
Yeah.
Obviously, he won that race. I think he's the only rider in that. So shout out to Jack Hamilton on that one. So we're going to move over to Hudson's races. So this is the Ohvale 110 Cup. So in third position is Hudson Cooper. In second position is
Jack Hamilton.
And in first position is
Daniel Stevenson.
So obviously because Hudson only finished 2 races, he dropped down to third position because it's your overall points between all 3 races. So Hudson's obviously got 50 points there, which we'll see on the next screen. So you'll see that Hudson got 50 points, Jack Hamilton got 54 points, and Daniel got 60 points. So actually Daniel got the overall win and will get the overall first place trophy. So yeah, it was a good points all. I mean, not everybody's ripped away with the points there. 50 points is a decent point all, really.
Yeah, I've only lost.
Yeah, you've not lost much.
Not lost much.
And this sometimes happens. So we skip over to the MiniGP 140 race, which we've just touched on a little bit there. So in third place was Thorle Trevero. Second place is
Tyler Humphries.
And in first position is
Wilson Dilks.
So looking at their overall standings there, you can see that Wilson won. He comes second in race 1, run race 2, and won race 3. It's hard to look at this. Tyler come third, second. Thorley come first, second, and a DNF for race 3.
I think he came off on Ellough Park corner, weren't it?
I'm not sure.
Or was that in a practice session? I don't know.
So so again, you can see on that screen there that Hudson didn't compete in race 3 there because there's a little dash next to it. So he got 10 points, 13 points, and nil points. Yeah,
and Travis got 4th.
Travis got 4th overall, Wow. That's really good.
Well
and I'll tell you another thing that happened on this race as well. Sydney Marshall, if you look at P6 there, Sydney Marshall, he got his first 140 podium there in race 3.
Yeah.
So that was Sydney's first ever podium there, which is fantastic. So, as we roll into the Ohvale 160 in the Ohvale 160 Cup. So in third place is Thorley Trevero, in second place is Tyler Humphries, and the winner was Wilson Dilks. And I'm going to skip on to the next one here. So this is the MiniGP. I need to put some notes on this. So this is the MiniGP 190 juniors.
Okay.
So in third place is Zach Weston, who we know, who's been working amazing ways over the last few rounds. In second place, somebody else we know,
Luca
Wilkinson, number 76. And in first place is George Bowles, who we know George as well. So that were the 190 Ohvale Cup, which is, that's the junior one. And in that same race, the adults race in that one. So in the exact same race as in at the same time. So in third position, this is the adult 190. So in third position is somebody else who we know, is Simon Bogg. And somebody else we know in second place, which is Andy Thompson. And somebody else we know in first place is Brian Hamilton, who's little Jack Hamilton's older brother. So that's a really competitive class, that, especially with the adults and kids racing together. They are in separate championships. They do score points separately. But if you're out there on track, I don't think it matters, especially for the kids. I don't think it matters. They just want to beat adults as well. So it's a wicked race to watch. Definitely worth watching that back on YouTube, which I will add. There will be a YouTube description link in the description to go straight to the racing on YouTube, and you can fast forward and find out where all the races are from this Ellough Park round. So we'll go into mini bike 140. So in third position is Sam Smithson. In second position is Harvey Lanthorpe, and in first position is
Ben Lord.
So quite a few people in this championship here. Again, on the screen I can only show the top 10. There was more than that. Again, the points are not showing right. I don't know why, but I believe that the standings are correct. So is anybody else who we know in there? We just know Ben, don't we? So I think Ben's riding for AMR. Is anybody else we know in there? No, I don't think so.
No.
So so that's a 140. So we'll go into the mini bike 160, which is also combined with the vets. So in P3 is Nathan Gardner. In second place is Sam Smithson, and in first position is Harvey
Laythorpe.
Number 222.
Went his country
number 222. So here are the standings on there, and I'm sure Nathan Gardner is Harrison Quincy's cousin or something. I'm sure it's him. Anybody else we know in there? Rayfield, Peter, Tom White. No. Again, the points don't seem to make any sense, but I've took them from the official website. I can assure you, and I can also assure you that the podium should be correct. So we'll roll into the veteran mini bike 160. So in third place is James Lewis. In second place is Michael Judkins, and in first place is Robert Mead, I'd say, or Robert Mead. And there are the standings in the veteran class. That veteran class, I say veteran class, they're just older guys. So that class runs at the same time as the normal 160 class, so they're integrated in with them guys. And I mean, some of them are the good races anyway. So we'll move over to the super minis. So in third place it's Louis Smith. In second place it's Lawrence Wardle, and in first place it is
Calvin Kelly.
I think this, again, we can only see the top 10 here. I'm sure this is where Harley raced here. Didn't he? Were there?
Harley.
He got disqualified for being underweight.
Got disqualified for being underweight.
I don't know if he won the races, but he definitely got disqualified. So I'm sure Harley would be in that top 10. So
I think 60s.
Oh, Corey Tinker were there from Vision Track.
Vision
Track GP. Who else were there? I don't know if Corey Tinker were there. You can see Corey Tinker.
That's just South Farnham. Never mind.
So that rounds up the results from Ellough Park. So I would roll in and talk about MotoGP Fantasy League, but we're that far behind that we can't do that until we've caught up with current standings. What else have we got to talk about?
I think that's it, is it? Have we got anything else?
I'm just trying to think now. I'm trying to keep things in chronological order. So we went to Ellough Park. You did a few... We've been obviously to Lockwell with Luca, practicing a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
in between. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up Ellough Park and trying to chase the where we are currently, basically.
Yeah.
So hopefully you enjoyed that episode. Hopefully you enjoy listening to us going over the results. I know we're trying to go over the results as best as we can. It's difficult to watch it all. I touched on this on the previous episode. I can assure you that I am putting things in place to try and do something. Another thing that we can plug is that you need to look and check out the Brits to MotoGP podcast, where he is touching on the races too, to do with British mini bikes. So that's another podcast. He's focusing, he's really dedicated to having a look and trying to shed light on any British talent coming through. So he's looking at fab riding, he's looking at British mini bike riding, he's looking at Bemsey results, he's looking at British Talent Cup results, obviously focusing quite a lot on that. He's looking at Moto 3 with Josh Watley and Scott Ogden. So that is a fantastic podcast. I will put the link in the description for that. It's definitely worth a listen, and it's definitely worth having a listen of that podcast, because the guy is going out of his way to cover British mini bikes and fab racing as well. And he's on it. He actually did a podcast pretty quickly after the previous round and touched over like the British mini bikes results, the fab racing results,
everything.
So that's fantastic. It's good for any coverage like that. So please head over and give him a like and a subscribe. You'll find him on Spotify. If you just search for Brits to MotoGP and you search on his Facebook and Instagram and Twitter. I think he's most active on Twitter and Instagram. So give him a like. Don't forget to like and subscribe to Hudson's channel. You can search for Hudson on any platform by searching for HKC 217, and you'll find wherever he is. So that's on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, YouTube, and TikTok. And anywhere else, just search for HKC 217. It'll pop straight up. So make sure, and if you can leave a review, we really appreciate that.
Suggestions.
Any suggestions? If you want to email in, you can. There's a link in the description to leave a message. You can leave a voice message as well, which we can put on the podcast, and we can answer the question. So until next time, we'll see ya in a bit.
Bye.